All right, at the bottom left, our Terran player from the Team FX Open, formerly a random player, now playing Terran. His ID is FXO GuMiho.
And his opponent, starting in the blue today, we have our first Terran versus Protoss. As for Incredible Miracle to the top right in the blue, we have Ready. And interesting about GuMiho, by the way, as you just mentioned him, is that he was the one player who got defeated by Thorzane in the Codes group.
Yes.
So Thorzane ended up being third in the group. He lost to Squirtle twice, if I'm not mistaken. And GuMiho ended up last.
Ready, by the way, used to be known as Pippi. He's known as Pippi Jung before he joined IM. A lot of players from the Jung clan actually moved into IM a long time ago. By that I mean back in the 2010 era when StarCraft 2 was very young. And when IM was very young. Jung, a clan that plays StarCraft 1 as well. So, something to think about. I think that this guy definitely had a lot of potential. We saw him play in some of the open seasons. And like he's kind of been on the back burner for a while. If I'm not mistaken, he was the one who... Actually, you know what? Now I'm saying all this, I'm like, is this actually the correct person, or is that I Am First who's Pippi? Actually, I think, now I think about it, I Am First is actually Pippi. So, either way, like, there's so many ID changes, I get really frustrated, but I'm going to have to look this up now. Hold on a second, Keldor.
He could also call himself Probe King. No, I mean, just making a little bit of fun of all the players trying to go for some kind of king IDs, unit plus king equals cool ID. That is currently like the top trend in Korea, apparently. But, well, right now we have...
Okay, so this guy used to be Nuts. I Am Nuts. Okay, so not the same guy. It must be First then that I was thinking of before. So first he was Nuts and then he's Ready? Yeah. And First was
I like
Pippi.
Nuts a lot more.
He had other IDs. Peanut Cracker, Peanut Cookie. And just Nuts, and before he joined IM.
I'm Nuts is cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I'm not sure if he was trying to make the pun though, because his old things had peanut in them as well. So, I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to determine.
Yeah. Well, I like it anyways. But, well, whatever. We currently have our first Terran versus Protoss, and we have a very, very huge map. On the land spaceship with all this distance, the huge distance between the two bases. We've seen a lot of very economy-based play in the early stage of the game, as aggression is something that's really not all that easy to pull off. A little bit easier, of course, for the Protoss player who can rely on his warp-ins, but as it is right now, we have GuMiho with his expansion transitioning into the double gas, and, of course, for his opponent, also an Expo. A small attempt by GuMiho to block it, but he's a little bit too late, is not able to prevent the Nexus from going down. So far, so good for Ready. And let's see what he's actually going to do. Usually, you try to go for the Robo here. You don't necessarily have to start with a double gateway, especially on a map with the distance that we just talked about. You can go straight for the Robo if you want to, and you have a very, very early observer out there and can scout exactly what your opponent is up to, or you play it a little bit safer and at the two gateways anyway. Yeah,
Usually, they have to make a choice. It's either gates before Robo or Robo before gates, and with what Ready has seen right now, I mean, he already scouted no gas, he's seen the command center, probably going to go Robo first, and there it is, Robo first, because why Robo first in this case? Because he knows he's not going to be hit by anything, but he needs to know what the next step is. He wants to know that first, so, okay, probably he's not going 5 racks in his base, going to hit me with big pressure, so the Robo will be fine. I'm going to see what he's doing exactly, I'm going to see if his starport timing lends itself to that 2 medevac push, which so far it does. No engineering bay just yet, but he'll be adding that pretty soon. And he just wants to know what he's dealing with before he adds the gateways. He doesn't need the units now.
He also has control over the Zelnaga Watchtower in the middle of the map, so any incoming pressure attack would be, well, most likely be spotted. You can also walk around the area that is revealed by the Zelnaga Watchtower, which is something that a lot of players actually try to do. Keen is one of those players who did this over and over again against Protoss. It was really interesting to see his style against Protoss in general. He always uses a small task force in the early game, just a few Marines, tries to sneak past his opponent's scouting patterns, and tries to hit the economy. He uses that very, very, very well and very efficient. GuMiho, on the other hand, is not trying to be this aggressive, but yeah, he's going for his for his medivacs. As we've already talked about, this is one of the timings where Terran players get really, really strong, and Protoss has to be careful and ready. With the Observer, he will be in a position where he can scout.
Yeah, you're right. There was a small move out of bio units, and I'm not sure. I guess they ended up coming home. Yeah, they did. Interestingly, he did not take the watchtower, did not show the units, and moved out with them slightly, decided not to pressure. I think it's smart on a map like this. I think he probably realized, nah, it's too big, I can't actually hit that timing. A Marine will distract the Stalker for a Hellion to attempt to run by, but with this many sentries here, that was a disaster.
Yeah, that Hellion didn't do anything at all. It had a quick glimpse in there, but what was this Hellion actually designed to do? Was it trying to get up the ramp? I don't think that it was really blocked, was it?
I think it was
Must have been.
It was not blocked, like literally, but he didn't control it well. I mean, it was like rallied on move command right next to the natural, I think, and so it just went there and bumped into a bunch of sentries and then died. GuMiho is moving out now with a pretty unusual timing to move out. In fact, with what he's seen, this is actually pretty weird for him to move out like this because he knows how many units his opponent has. And right now, all the sentries and stalkers are in the main base prepared for a drop like this. This is going to be shut down 100%. In fact, if he drops it, he's going to be happier because he can actually kill these units for free. He's going for a second attack around towards the natural. That will be a little bit harder to defend. But look at this. He's just going to get this medevac.
Yep, the medevac is definitely going... No way.
No.
How did that happen?
Well, it's GuMiho's lucky day. He is also going to catch the probe, making a Nexus.
Sissy, how did that happen when they completely in range? Did the sentries block the stalkers from getting the last shot off?
Yeah, I think something like that must have occurred. Nice reaction time by GuMiho as well. You know, going for it. That's the type of thing where it's like, I'll probably lose the medevac, but I'm going to try so hard to save it because I might save it, and then in the end you save it. It's nice.
Well, Reddy has currently Blink Stalkers on the way, so with Blink Stalkers you will be able to shut down drop play a lot more efficient. You can, if you spot it with the Observer, you can just wait for your opponent to move in with the medivacs, then you use the Blink beneath them, and then you just take them down. And both of them are just trying to get the third base. This is one of the maps where we always, or quite often, see a very, very long and macro-oriented game, and currently also the transition into robotics bay for Reddy. So this is going to be a longer game, a macro game, 3 base against 3 base at this point.
This is something that a lot of Terrans have been struggling with, is that late game. So that's part of the reason why I think GuMiho is being so aggressive right now. It's part of the reason why all Terrans are being really aggressive right now. It's just simply because they want to cripple the Protoss throughout the game, and I think that's smart. You know, even the game designers themselves at Blizzard have said that, yeah, well, sometimes the Protoss is strong late game. You know, we're looking at this, but it's something that is fine because Terran has so many options in the mid game, and that's exactly what GuMiho is doing right now, trying to find kind of holes in Reddy's play where he can exploit him. Reddy thinks he has a fast third Nexus up, but in reality, GuMiho's third base has been up for a while. He's even getting a gas there now. He's dropping mules. So GuMiho, even though he hasn't done any real damage with his pressure, is actually in a good position economically.
And he's won against trying to get some scouting information with the factory. He has those medivacs. There's a constant threat of being dropped, and Reddy is aware that this might happen. So he has some units just posturing around, trying to make sure that there is no medivac attack into his main base.
Oh, I can't believe he's not going to hide the Colossus here.
He's not going to spot it. Is he trying to run up here? And look at this amount of Marauders. He has so many of them. There's a huge amount, 13 and 30. Wow. He's getting 3 at a time, +2/+2 lined up. But the thing is that the longer GuMiho waits to do some damage, the better the situation for Reddy will be. If he's on even basis with a Terran player and gets into the late game with all this high DPS units that he has, it's going to be really hard for GuMiho to deal with it.
Yeah, and he's got an upgrade advantage though right now. For a few more seconds until +1 finishes. He's going to have +2 too if he waits a little bit longer. I think that may be what he's waiting for. If he attacks right now with +1 being done for Reddy and his 2-2 not being done, it'll be really coincidental and unlucky. But I strongly feel at this point GuMiho should wait for 2-2. And he is actually seeing a second attack towards the left side.
Pylon at the bottom right that has not been spotted. Now he sees it.
He knows what's up.
Yeah, he has one of its Marauders in position. The Pylon gets cancelled, so no harm done. was worth the try, but Reddy is not able to set this pylon up properly.
This is going to be so scary, man. He's chopping in the main with double medevacs with 2-2. There's units set up there already. If he loses these medevacs, he's going to lose a huge army advantage that he has right now. He's attacking at the right side as well.
Oh, that was close. He spots the Stalkers and gets out of there immediately.
He can't deal with the Colossi, though. He can't attack either location. There's too many units for him to face. He's kind of doing a catch-all right now, making Vikings and a Ghost Academy and a second starport. Yeah, he's got the +1 weapons for his Vikings done here as well. I really like the position he's in for upgrades for now.
Dark Shrine here for Reddy, so he tries to be a little bit sneaky, and he has another pylon at the bottom right, but that has been scouted already. Yeah, there it is, Marine Marauder, spotting it, taken down. And every single time we have like perfect scouting for Reddy. He has all these observers in position and spots as soon as GuMiho tries to set up another attack with Medivacs. So, well done thus far. But look at those upgrades. GuMiho is doing a really great job with upgrading his units. 5 ghosts now as well.
The problem for him is his opponent's tech advantage over him. He doesn't have the ability to fight against the Colossi right now, so even though he has the upgrade advantage, he won't be able to use it in time. He's going to lose it in a second. And no, his opponent won't have 3-3 before him, even with full perfect chrono boosts, but he's going to be close. And so he's going to have a very tiny timing window, and you know, you can't really fault him for that. That's just how Protoss works. They get super fast upgrades with chrono boost. I mean, there's not much to say otherwise, but he has done a pretty damn good job of getting his upgrades on time very quickly this game. Now, the Dark Shrine is finishing, and right now, GuMiho does not appear to have any answer for this. He doesn't have any turrets set up at his 3rd base. His 4th does have a turret, but if he's not near it, it's not going to be useful. And his 4th base does not have any turrets either, so
he has one in his natural, so that kind of saves the main base as well. And the thing is, with if he works with the EMPs, he could probably detect DTs too. But yeah, EMPs are not the best solution here. But with the energy on the orbitals, he will be able to spot his units. The main question is when is he going to use the DTs? That's the problem.
A great engagement here for Reddy, by the way, catching this army here. He warped in the Zealots to bait him to stay.
Drop at the right side of the map. We don't have it on screen just yet. Here we go. And this did a fair amount of damage, I guess. Yeah, 13 Harvesters have been killed here.
Yep. By the way, we see Raven coming out, and +2 is going to be done for ship weapons. I think the Raven is partially there to kill observers, so the Ghost's cloaking can actually come into play. Double command centers being made right in the center of the map for GuMiho. A little bit bold. He's been spotted by the observer, though.
Another drop at the top left the top left of the base of Reddy is also in position, but so far he could not use it. He is just unloading and loading those.
Oh, this is a great position for GuMiho.
Nice EMPs here.
Oh, great micro from both players, in fact. The Stalkers being careful with how they blink on top of those Vikings. No Colossus damage taken, only a few shields. Good storm as well. That was actually a cool little fight that we had. There is a drop at the north that could be threatening in the main.
Yeah, those were those medivacs that were in position, and I talked about them a little bit earlier. The thing is that with all the units that Reddy has in position, he can't really get all too aggressive with them. He can't drop with them and do damage, so it's going to be real difficult to put them to some use.
GuMiho, this is the timing that I was talking about that's very small, where he does have the upgrade advantage, 3-3 to 2-2, and if he actually commits to this fight against GuMiho with this many Vikings that also have +2, he's going to regret it.
Nice snipe here. He clusters his ghosts a little bit too much, in my opinion, but at the same time, if he gets those snipes off in the near future, then he can just make sure that he kills every single High Templar before the storms go off. The small force of GuMiho to the right side at the base in the middle of the map is actually doing a lot of damage, not only taking down those 2 cannons, but now trying to do as much as possible. He knows that those units are doomed and kind of sacrificing them. And I think those units in the top left have been killed.
DTs, by the way, are starting to go to work on, yeah, the units on the top left were killed.
The drop has been taken down. Was it the High Templar with feedback?
He actually ran, those units that were at the base in the center that were killed were actually the same ones. We're going to actually have a fight here in the middle. A ton of cloaked ghosts going down. He's trying to storm them as he has no detection whatsoever. He's desperate at this point. GuMiho moving in. He no longer has the upgrade advantage. And an EMP actually revealed some of those ghosts accidentally.
All those sentries are without energy now. He can't use anything. There's the last Guardian Shield coming up, but those storms are great. The High Templar still with energy and suddenly ready in a 50 supply lead. Those DT is even killed the base at the bottom.
He killed the entire command center with DTs, and I feel like GuMiho in a tough spot now, like trying to figure out what his next move should be.
That should never happen.
No, that should never have happened. All of these Marauders that are here are all low. They have some of them with not even a stim left in them, and that's a huge chunk of his supply, and he's already down 50 supply already. Oh, look at this. These Marauders not going to last a second. It looks like Reddy is just going to win this game.
The Marauders are dead within an instant. Those storms early have just been way too good, and Reddy is in such a commanding lead that GuMiho is just trying to keep his Planetary Fortress alive. He's really struggling to stay in this game. He lost too many engagements already, and now the DTs are making their way into the main base of the Terran player. He doesn't even lift the supply depot.
He didn't even know they were there at all. The only reason they were attacked is because the units were on hold position. He did not see them. EMP takes out one DT, but the second one remains alive, killing workers in the main. He uses a scan, and at this point, Reddy, 80 supply up. He has the additional base at the bottom right. This game isn't over 110%, but it's over 99.9%. Like, GuMiho is going to have to get really lucky. He's going to have to win a crazy engagement at the planetary, for example. Some crazy engagement like that is going to happen. I like while he's sending these units across the middle of the map trying to catch reinforcements, but even that is not enough here. Look at the resources at the top right.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Reddy already with another base at the bottom right of the map. He's getting additional observers, 2 of them at a time, because he wants to make damn sure that there's nothing happening to his economy. There's not going to be some kind of drop play that's probably that might even be able to ruin this match for him.
And no cloak ghost surprises either.
He just looks at the map and he's like, okay, I'm so far ahead. What can now kill me? What's the problem that I could face?
He's even making photon cannons to spend his money. He's doing everything perfectly right now. Yeah. He's got, is that 5 photon cannons going up in the main? I bet that is. Yep. That is just so smart. He's like, well, all my production's in one place. If he drops me with like 6 medevacs and kills all my pylons, then I can't make units anymore, so that would be frustrating. GuMiho, though, is reapproaching max. He's not there yet, and Reddy is killing his own zealots right now in order to warp in DTs. He's going to warp in 2 and send them to the natural again. This time, there is enough units in place. I believe there's a bunker. There's a bunker full of Marines. And yeah, he just takes those out instantly. But this is just this. He's not hold the planetary. He needs that fortress to hang on to so he can really win fights. But
he's really starving him. It's you said it already. It's not only about the income, but at the same time, it's also about the position. The planetary fortress being in a really good spot where he can put it to some use as soon as the opponent attacks. But the planetary is down. Suddenly he finds himself on 3 mining bases against 5, and this isn't a problem that you don't want to be. You don't want to be faced with something like this. It's really hard to get back from such a bad situation, and all that he has to hope for now are perfect EMPs and basically just a complete steamroll. He needs to take him down, his entire army, with 1 good stim and with 1 good force and brutal strength, but that is not, I don't see it happening at all.
I don't either, man. His Vikings are so low and he's flying them into storms. Not his fault, but with the preemptive storm just making it so he can't even move forward. The point defense run is the only thing keeping those Vikings alive, and he will be able to land this command center, at least for a short while.
Just look at the upgrades that we see for Reddy. He has 3, 2, 3 in just a few seconds, even with another Warp Prism on the way, so he can start harassing.
Look at what GuMiho has
so much of a problem for him.
Look at what GuMiho has been able to do with so little, though. He's actually gone from 108 supply to 176 against max the entire time, with good positioning, with patience. Oh, that EMP hit all the Templar, and GuMiho made it decide to go for this. Actually, it looks like just a few more. I can't tell if those are sentries or Templar in there, but it looks like actually no, he doesn't have any storms available, just the 1.
Right now what Reddy should do or could do is actually get rid of some of his probes. He has 76, and with a 4,500 bank, you can definitely try to reduce your drone count, your probe count a little bit.
I am actually just amazed that GuMiho has been able to hang in here this long.
I feel like Reddy does not really have the killer instinct that he need in order to sit down at some point in the game and say, okay, you're dead, and I'm going to prove it to you, and I'm taking you down now.
Yeah, you're right. And here's what's about to happen. He's sending a Warp Prism to his opponent's base, and he's going to fight here, and any unit he loses here, he's going to replace with a unit inside of GuMiho's main base of that Warp Prism. He has 6 additional gateways going down, as well as 9 cannons. He's stopped mining at this base 100%. Didn't really lose any units, so you can only warp in 3 DTs.
There's a Viking, though. The Viking is already in position and takes down the Warp Prism easy peasy. But yeah, those few DTs do a fair amount of damage. They take down supply depots, they take down and become houses, and...
Well,
just call supply depots houses.
Yeah, you did, but it's okay. They could house supply. The armory is about to go down, which will stop ship plating from finishing. He's just continuing to kill stuff with his DTs. And GuMiho, while being patient, while holding on here, I mean, he's building up a bank at this point, and Reddy just doesn't seem to know how to kill him. He's got +3 shields finishing up right now, about 30 seconds in-game left from finishing. Of course, Chrono Boost will reduce that by about 30%. But
that's the problem that I spoke about earlier. If GuMiho gets the momentum to take down Reddy, then he might win the game. It's just this huge bank that he has. And how many gates does Reddy actually have? What he should do in this situation is add like even more. I mean, how many does he have? There's like 16 right now.
No, actually, he's got almost 24. It looks like
he could add.
He could add more.
Yeah, he could add even more.
He could. He's got almost 6K.
He's on 3-3-3, and with all the bases that he has and all the. He can actually do whatever he wants, but here comes the big fight at the bottom and moving in the EMPs once again spot on. GuMiho just trying to be in this defensive position where he forces Reddy into a bottleneck situation where the Protoss player does not really want to fight. And
GuMiho is just
that's what he's afraid of.
He's basically just trying to force Reddy's mistake, and I think that might actually happen. Reddy is not engaging any of these fights correctly. And here comes a huge attack. It's not only Zealots, I mean, not only DTs, but this time Zealots as well. They're going to tank a little bit. He's going to take out this pesky bunker. He's going to try to force GuMiho back so he can actually attack and kill the orbital. And he's doing a lot of damage here. This is one thing GuMiho doesn't seem to have accounted for. Point defense runs up, and man, he has got to be so careful, man. I think GuMiho, I'm actually just watching the way he's fighting right now, and I can't imagine GuMiho losing this game anymore. To be quite honest with you, I can't even imagine it anymore. Like, he is fighting every fight wrong. Why not actually attack a different location? Like, why not attack...
Reddy is actually, like, taking a run-up and running with a huge grin into a solid wall.
And then he does it again and again and again. He's like, are you still here? He's like, okay, I guess so. He's throwing away Archons. The EMPs are going off. You guys aren't seeing it. But GuMiho is slowly but steadily sitting back and allowing Reddy to destroy himself.
He's in whole position with those Vikings with a beautiful concave, and Reddy is every single time just moving in.
He should attack the natural instead. He's attacking the natural with DTs and Zealots only. What if he just moved his army over there and killed him? Imagine that. Imagine it.
I don't really understand it. Well, but I still don't think that Reddy can lose this game.
Well, I mean...
GuMiho is running out of resources.
He's out of money, but look at this. He's going to win this fight in the center. If he can defend these Zealots, he may still have a chance to counterattack and win.
Nah, it's too late already.
I think you may be right.
Without money, but he doesn't even rebuild his army, his units. Why?
What is he doing?
I don't know. Maybe
like, literally, what is he doing?
Well, now he's warping in 13 Zealots and 7 Dark Templars.
Yeah, and this time I think it may be too much. GuMiho's army not all together here. He needs to pull it together for a second. You know, I feel like this is the game that GuMiho should have been able to retake if he had been a little bit more active with harassment, for example.
The advantage was already he was too far ahead already.
Yeah.
It was just too much. With all those resources, the production facilities, and all these upgrades, he can engage this army. He does not have to trade cost efficient, and let's just put out there he doesn't. But it doesn't matter.
There's no more medevac energy, really, and he's just going to warp in Zealots, I guess, until GuMiho dies. And this has been, you know, not the best engagements I've ever seen from a Protoss player, but...
Another thing is that he continues to build a lot of Colossi, even though his opponent has like 20 Vikings.
Yeah, actually. Look at GG. I don't know if you guys got to see that sick chain storm where like the Vikings just flew from one storm to another. I actually, when I was watching him, I liked that he finally started to focus more on the natural with his zealots. When I was watching him attacking that concave, I thought that was going to be his gameplay. He was like, I kill him here. I was like, he's going to attack, he's going to lose everything, GuMiho's going to counterattack and kill him. I was so sure after I saw him do that about 6 times that GuMiho was going to win 100%. Man, I would have bet big money that GuMiho was going to win that game after I saw him do that.
It was a little bit funny. As I said earlier, it just looked like him taking a run up and just running right into this wall, getting a bloodied nose, bloodied face, bouncing back, and then about 30 seconds later, he's like, hey, that was fun, let's do it again.
I was watching him, like, he's like, are those units still there? He's like, yeah, alright, I lost the Zealot and a little bit of hit points on my Colossus, I'll just come back a little bit later.
Getting hit by another 30 EMPs, and then like, oh, okay, I guess my shield's regenerated, let's do it again.
Well, our next map is going to be quite large. It is going to be Whirlwind, so 2 massive maps. GuMiho cannot be happy with this. Honestly, like, the game that we saw last game, I was so impressed with how long he was able to hold on with so little supply. And part of the problem was simply that Reddy was not confident enough to attack him. He seemed to lack
maybe he wasn't
experience.
Ready.
Maybe he wasn't ready, man. I guess he wants to attack when he's ready, but he seemed to lack experience in the late game, and it really, really showed through. There was a game against Boxer, in fact, where it was the game he was nuked, and it's famous because Moltrap screamed about it. But this is something where he showed some lack of experience in the late